6 days ago, I posted my first YouTube video to this channel and it got a whopping 0 views. Today, I'm going to share with you the 3 mistakes I made that completely ruined my first video so you can do better. And I'll also share with you a bonus tip that could help your first video get seen by thousands. Before we dive into what went wrong, here's some quick context. I've wanted to start a YouTube channel for years, but kept putting it off for various reasons, which I'll cover in another video. At the end of last year, I finally took the plunge, but not with this channel. I started channel 1, a niche project as a way to test the waters. Over the past 3 months, I've been consistently uploading, and while some of my favourite videos flopped, others performed surprisingly well, which leads us to the first mistake I made that crushed my first ever video on this channel, the one that actually means a lot to me. So what went wrong? Well, the problem is, because I'd had some success with channel 1, when I uploaded my first video to channel number 2, I expected it to do reasonably well. I had expectations, and that is a real problem, because if I've learned anything in life, the one thing that is sure to spoil any form of happiness you could ever experience is having expectations. You might have heard this quote or equation, I guess is a better description for it, but it sums this whole idea up nicely. Essentially, your happiness equals your reality minus your expectations. So if you want to be happy within the realm of your own reality, you need to subtract any expectations you hold, as in you need to eliminate them completely. And yes, you're probably thinking, how on earth do I do that? And I also have the same question as well, because as humans, we are wired to observe our environment, to take note of the success and failures we experience, to connect the dots and use this knowledge to avoid potential suffering and enhance potential rewards, which is an expectation in and of itself. So when you upload your first video to YouTube, or your second or your 100th, how do you get rid of any expectation of success or failure it might have? Well, the thing that's worked for me so far is to accept the reality, observe the expectation as an idea, but that is all it is. It's a thought inside your brain, a potential outcome you hope or fear will become a reality. But as much as you wish for it to come true or not, reality has other plans. Even if you try to eliminate all expectations, more than likely you will still have a gut feeling of a certain outcome. All you can really do in order to stay balanced and sane is to accept that once you click upload, your work is done. Aside from promoting your content on other platforms or to an existing audience, your video is now in the hands of the YouTube gods, or as people like to refer to as the YouTube algorithm. And many will tell you that the word algorithm should always be replaced with the word audience. But from my experience so far, the YouTube algorithm is a mysterious and often unpredictable force, especially when you start out as a new creator or launch a new channel, because the YouTube algorithm has little to no data as to who you are, what your videos are about, and who the ideal audience is for your content. The best thing you can do in this situation, aside from erasing all expectations, is to give your channel and content a focus. Make sure you have a clear direction to move towards, and ensure your content and packaging aligns with this path. Through repetition and consistency, over time, the YouTube gods will have a better understanding of your channel and where and who to place your content in front of. So that was the first mistake I made, but what are the other 2? Well, the introduction to this video might have already given it away, but the second mistake I made is also linked to our primal self. We humans are great at a lot of things. We invented language, we make tools and machines, and now we've created a whole other reality than the physical realm. We've created the online world. But there's one thing we still haven't quite mastered, at least not collectively as a species. And it's the second reason why my video was destined to fail. It all comes down to patience, or at least a lack of it. You see, this lack of patience is an easy mistake for us all to make, not only after hitting that upload, but before it as well. In your excitement to create and publish your first video, it's all too common to go with the first draft, or the first title you think of. This thumbnail I've made will do. I don't need to improve on it, it's good enough. I just want to upload this video as soon as possible. Unfortunately, this is another big mistake, because while it's fantastic you are filled with enthusiasm to make content and share it with the world, without practicing patience, you're crippling the potential reach and impact your video could have. And I am no exception. After finally moving past my own issues and committing to starting this channel, an idea popped into my head and I wouldn't let it go. I said to myself, the first video will be published no later than the last day of February, not March or even the 1st of March. No, it had to be February. I have my own reasons for this, which aren't entirely relevant to this video, but no matter what, I was going to make sure the video was live by the end of February. And I did it. On the very last day of February, around 10 PM that evening, my video was live. Now, remember, I've already created another channel. Channel 1 was launched months ago. I've been consistently making content for that channel every single week, so I'm well versed in the power of patience. But even I succumbed to the pitfalls of impatience this time around, because if I'd chosen to sleep on it after editing my first video instead of uploading it straight away, I could have spent time to look at the first video and packaging from a fresh perspective. All too often we get caught up in writing our script, coming up with a clickable title and thumbnail. In the moment we think it's the best thing since sliced bread, but all too often after a good night's sleep we come back to it and spot a bunch of flaws we missed. This bit's too long, the energy's a bit low here, what was I thinking with this thumbnail idea? Sometimes you need to instill a mindset of patience, as much as a sense of urgency can ensure action occurs. Finding the balance between urgent action and restrained patience is where you really want to be, because then you can ensure you get things done without procrastinating too much, and once you've made your masterpiece, you can take the time to work on all of the blemishes you were too blind to see at first, meaning that the product you then create is a step above what you would have published in your initial excitement. And this also applies after you've hit upload, because even though as a small creator, I've noticed YouTube tends to test your video mostly in the first 1 to 3 days before trailing off. Some videos are just slower to grow than others. I've had content receive tens of thousands of impressions from day one, and others won't receive even a single thousand impressions after the first week, only to see a video that initially performed poorly gain a second wind and start to build momentum long after it was first uploaded. This content creation game we are all playing is very much a marathon over a sprint. There are ways you can pull from both extremes to get the most out of your hard work, such as using YouTube Shorts, which very much reflect the sprint aspect to promote your longer form videos, which would be the marathon. But if you can focus on building a patient mindset throughout your content creation journey, you're well on your way to mastering the process. Just remember, it most certainly won't happen overnight and is a constant work in progress and a balancing act. So we've covered the 2 big mistakes that ruined my first YouTube video, but there's one more which really helped hammer home the final nail in the coffin, and I've been doing it this entire video. You've probably noticed, even if you don't really know what it is. And just like the rest, it exposes yet another weakness of our human psychology, something we all do every single day, whether conscious or not, and it's slowly destroying us more and more readily than ever before. It stops us from making progress, derails our focus, and completely ruins any joy you experience from your small and large successes. Just like the first mistake I made, having expectations of a certain outcome, this third and final mistake can be summed up with an all too familiar quote: comparison is the thief of joy. Comparison is something we are constantly drawn to. It's like a gravitational force that keeps sucking us in, bound for eternity to compare ourselves with others, to compare how we look with someone else, how we sound, how we hold ourselves, how good or bad our editing or lighting is compared with others, and how quickly success comes to a certain few, and how we can't help but lack the secret they must possess. So what form of comparison am I guilty of? Well, you've probably seen a bunch of these videos yourself. When the new year of 2025 began, there were so many videos titled, "This is the year to start a YouTube channel," or how 2025 is the year for small creators, and there's been a sense that the algorithm or the YouTube gods are finally beginning to shine a light on small creators, instead of focusing on promoting the established creators who already have an audience and all of the data to back their success. The YouTube gods have decided to be generous and give much of their precious impressions and views to those less fortunate. And after actually seeing this unfold in reality, after seeing many creators not only gain traction but also see instant results, you could be fooled into thinking that by simply being a small creator, any video you make is going to turn to gold. Well, maybe you wouldn't think so, but in my naivety, I might have convinced myself this could be true for me. Not to mention, I'd started channel 1 several months ago and had seen firsthand that as a small creator, even the rather niche content I was sharing on channel 1 was slowly but steadily building a new community and was growing in momentum. And since channel 2, as in this channel, was aimed at still a niche audience but with much more broad appeal, combined with my ability to write, edit and package my content to a higher quality than ever before, I was sure my chances of initial success were sky high. My first video was going to be well received. It was going to hit the algorithm and be flooded with those sweet, delicious impressions bestowed upon me by the YouTube gods, and my channel would be off to the races. My subscribers would grow faster than I could create content, and I'd be on my way to living the life I was always destined for. But that didn't happen. I think the YouTube gods might have been off that day. Maybe they didn't get the message that I'd finally done it, the thing I'd been putting off for years. My first video was live, so let's open the floodgates and let the views flow. No, they had another idea. Let's show this guy what it really takes to make it big on YouTube. And I guess it worked. It humbled me. It was an important reminder that I really needed. Of all 3 mistakes I made making my first video, having expectations, lacking patience, and comparing myself to others in my past success, for some reason, this one hit harder than the rest. Because while I can tell myself to view expectations as just an idea and not a reflection of reality, while I can focus on practicing mindful patience balanced with urgent action, not comparing myself to others, let alone my past success, is a much tougher pill to swallow. Because how else do we track our progress? How else do we understand if the thing we are doing is having the intended effect or not? But that old saying, as cliche as it may sound, is completely and objectively true. Comparison is the thief of joy. I should have been pumped to have finally done it, to have made my first video on the channel I really cared about after putting it off for so long. And I was, at least until I remembered the success others have had this year and the success I had experienced on channel 1. Then I checked the YouTube analytics for my first video, and in one fell swoop, all joy was eviscerated. So if nothing else, I hope that this video can be of some help to you. Whether you can relate after experiencing a similar outcome with your first video, or whether you are gearing yourself up to create and post on a brand new channel. Take note of these 3 mistakes and do with them what you wish to ensure you have better results than I did. And just because nobody watched my first video doesn't mean I'm not going to post another one, because after all, there's no progress without struggle. For those of you who've made it this far, as promised, here's a bonus tip that could make sure your first video is seen by thousands instead of no one. Before I uploaded my first long form video to channel 1, I'd already uploaded 21 YouTube shorts. Now, there are a lot of people out there who say don't do shorts because it will ruin your channel if you're looking to make long form content, but I don't think that is entirely true, at least not from my experience. So long as your short form content is based around the same topic and style as your long form content, it should actually add value to your channel, because not only do people on YouTube now watch both long form and short form content, there's also a large group of people who only watch shorts. So if you want to have maximum reach and impact, you essentially need to make YouTube shorts. And better yet, by posting shorts on your new channel before your first long form video, you're signaling to YouTube the type of content and topic your channel is focused on. YouTube can begin to gather data and understand who likes your content and who doesn't, what hashtags you're using, which keywords are in your title and video transcript. I believe that this positioned my first channel well, because when I uploaded my first long form video, YouTube already had an idea of who would respond well and who wouldn't. So the algorithm had more confidence when it came to who to put my video in front of. Compared with this channel, channel 2, the first piece of content I posted was my long form video. So YouTube had no idea who my target audience was and what my content was about. Yes, your title, description, tags, and video transcript will help give YouTube an idea as to who the content is aimed towards. But since this was the very first piece of content uploaded to the channel, they had no data or previous tests to compare it to. So if you are about to upload your first long form video, think about experimenting with cutting some clips from it and uploading them as shorts first. Give YouTube some data to work with, and once you start to see some traction with your shorts, then you upload your long form video. So as always, stay positive, seek balance, and no matter what, don't be afraid to face your fears.